So here's one I've been grappling with a little bit. And I think it's part of the reason why it took me so long to get to this point and to truly embrace this and what I'm doing. And it's the concept of you're starting a new life. And that's essentially what we do. And we go through phases of this throughout our lives, I think, when we leave school, when we start a new job, when we pick a career, when we start a business, when we become a parent, these kinds of things. It's the start of a new life. And I think the problem is that when we try and continue to live our old life, we continue to be the person we used to be and continue to try and engage in the activities of the person that we once were. But we're no longer that person, you know. And when you keep one foot in each world, this new person that you're striving to be or being forced to be sometimes through career or parenthood or whatever it may be, versus the old you lose yourself because you're torn between two worlds. So you're not fully stepping into either world. So you're inauthentic, you're inaligned, unaligned in both worlds. And this is when we lose ourselves, and this is why we feel depressed and why we feel like we can't connect anything, and why we make progress to sabotage it all, why we don't do the things we've done. And it's because, and it sounds harsh, but we need to kill the old version of ourselves. That version of us needs to die so that we can be reborn into the new version, so that we can step into our power of this new person. And for as long as we hold on to who we used to be, we can never truly step into that power. We can't step into this authentically driven line of who we are. And until you make the decision, you cannot move forward. But all it takes is a decision, truly a decision. And I think that's why I failed before. If we look at the history of my business and my growth as an adult, I started my gym when I was 21 years old, right? And I just wanted to make money. Like, I just needed to survive. I knew I was called to something more, and I wanted to work with athletes. I wanted to work with high performers. I wanted to work with people who wanted to do the work. But I live in a Blue Mountains. I live in a not full rural, but semi-rural location. Those weren't the people who were there. The average population is an aging population. So what did I fall into? I trained middle-aged women who are 45 plus generally. And I made good money from it. And I would grow this business and I would reach this point and I'd burn it to the ground. And I'd grow this business and then I'd burn it to the ground. I did like 4 times. I'd get to $350,000 a year pretty comfortably as a sole person. And I'd just burn it all down. Because that wasn't who I wanted to be. And so I kept sabotaging it because I was living in this world. And then the first time I did 126 and I created this concept and I worked it all out. One, it came on the back end of a scare. I had problems with my heart. I ended up in hospital for 5 days in the middle of COVID while my wife was pregnant with our daughter. That freaked me the fuck out. And then, realizing when we had our daughter's first birthday, I want to be there for as long as humanly possible. But the version of me that was living there right now was taking the easy road. I wasn't inauthentic, even with the current model of the gym. I wasn't being authentic. I was fat. I was overweight. I was barely exercising. I wasn't eating right. I was drinking. I was doing all those kinds of things. I wasn't who I wanted to be, let alone to the standard that I have for myself. So I turned that around. But then I continued to work in that business. And then I got called back into it. I had someone working for me. And so I was doing all the back end stuff. So that allowed me to separate a little bit from, the day-to-day things. But then I got called in full time. Now there's this wake-up call of like, fuck, I'm in this every single day. I'm wearing this mask to satisfy these people because I have to. This is the business that I built previously. And they are looking for this person, but I'm not that person. I don't want to be that person. So I had this split. And so I lost myself and, I gained weight again. I was drinking. I was eating all the junk food. Every weekend I was binging on stuff. I was watching immense amounts of TV. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't making good choices. And this is the problem with that. So I had to step into it. I had to step into this power. And though I'm still running that business, though I'm still in that day in, day out, and I have to put on that face and put on that mask, I know I have made a decision that that is ending. That I am stepping into this power to the man I know I need to be, the man I am inside. I am in the process of going to war every day with the person I used to be with, and I have killed that person. That person is dead, and I am now this person. I'm a man of accountability. I'm a man of my word. I'm a man who does the work, and not only does the work, but thrives in them. I have a purpose, I have a challenge, and I go to war, and that fulfills me. And I'm fulfilled in this. So even though I have to step back into doing a job that I don't like, I am fulfilled in it because I know in here who I am, and I am transitioning into the next phase of my life. And that's all it takes. It just takes a decision that you have to kill the person you used to be. Because for as long as you hold on to this idea of who you used to be, that is all you will be. And look, I think when we do that, there are going to be habits and things that still slip up. As I said to you recently, I'm giving up TV. I'm giving up social media. I'm giving up. The other one I'm starting next week is caffeine. I'm horrendously addicted to caffeine, and I can consume so much that would, stop a grown man's heart, would stop an elephant's heart. For example, today I had 3 Monsters, so Monster energy drinks. I've had 2 coffees. I've had 2 Dexies, which is for ADHD. I'm just chilled. Like, it doesn't make me buzz like that. I need to get away from that. Those are, A, it's an addiction. B, it's not good for me. 3, C, it's propping up this thing that I need to get away from. So I'm breaking that addiction because that's who I used to be. Someone who lived on stimulants. Before I used to have pre-workout. There was one period of time where I was doing 3 to 4 Monsters a day, 3 to 4 coffees a day, and 6 Dexies. Like, do you know how much stimulants that is? That would make most people literally keel over. And I'm just like, whatever, that was just my life. So these are the things that I need to end. I need to move away from those things and step into this power of things that, of a man of substance, of a man who is living his best life. I don't need to live in sedation. I don't need to live with these things that don't serve me. So I'm cutting them away. I am having to kill this person that I used to be. He ain't going down with a fight. This is the other thing. Yes, I've made a decision and I'm stepping into this power, but it doesn't mean who you used to be is going to go away easily. Those habits are ingrained, those subconscious programmings that you've had for your entire life, they aren't going to go easily. They are not just going to disappear into the night without a fight. You need to go to war with this, with the person you used to be, and step into your power. It is going to be hard. There are going to be days where everything is screaming at you to slide back into those. It's going to happen. Like, I gave up Monster for a little while. Then there was a mix-up. I used to have it on a subscription, and it turned up, and they wouldn't take it back. So I was like, I'll just drink it. So I'm back to drinking 3 to 4 of these things a day because it was there, that I hadn't fully closed that door. I hadn't killed that side of me. And I use these harsh terms deliberately because it needs to be deliberate. It's not just moving on. It's not just making new habits. You need to end that existence of the person that you used to be. And does that mean you'll never, indulge in those kinds of things? No. Does that mean I'm never going to watch TV again? No. There is probably going to be times where I'm going to have coffee, where I may have a Monster. There are going to be occasions where those arise, but they need to be occasions. They need to be simple things. So for the meantime, I have to slam the door in the face of the man I used to be. I have to completely end those things. And for a good period of time. It's why this is 126 days. It's why it's not, 30 days or 28 days or, even 90 days. It's 126 days because it takes that long to cement these habits into who you are, to build them into your subconscious programming and make it a thing. And even then, it's not forever because there are always going to be these calls back to average, to these calls back to mediocrity, to slip into what is comfortable, and you have to keep fighting. It's why you have to kill the man you used to be, because you can't allow any chance that they'll come back. It's like a villain in a movie. You need to double tap them in the head, because you cannot risk that they rise again, because you might not have the capacity to kill them again in a different stage. You don't know what other tests will be coming at you in a later stage. So you need to make sure that there is zero chance that those old habits are going to resurface. That you need to slam the door so hard that you can't reopen it, that you can't look back and go, yeah, all right, I'll let that back in. No. You need to step into your power. You need to be a man of your word, a man of discipline, a man of focus. Doesn't mean you can't have fun. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy things. But you need to be those things first. You need to ingrain them into your personality. And then you can step out. Then you can have the occasional dip outs, because you know that this is your North Star. This is your focal point. This is where you return to. So every time this is where you're tracking. You're heading north. You might deviate for a minute or two, and then you come back. That's the importance of it. It's why it's 126 to greatness, and it's why it's a sequence. You go 126 to greatness, you go chasing greatness, and then you join the greatness club. And this is a sequence that you follow for the rest of your life, because there will always be more. There will be new challenges. There will be new wars to fight. There'll be new things to conquer and overcome. And we need to go to war with these things. I was listening to a great podcast with Jimmy Carr, which I've just recently discovered him, not the comedian side of him, but him as a man. Oh, God, the things he talks about. He is so underrated. It is phenomenal. But he was talking about how we need imposter syndrome. And you need to feel it every 12 to 18 months. And at first I was like, what? No, we wanted to kill imposter syndrome. He's like, because as you level up, you should level up to such a level that you go, fuck, how did I get here? How am I standing in this room? How am I with these people? And I was like, he's right. Like, that's exactly what we should feel. We should be developing and leveling up and progressing into these points in our life where, yeah, you feel like you don't belong there, that you are an imposter, because you've leveled up so far. You've leveled up so far beyond where you used to be that now you feel uncomfortable. Good. You should feel uncomfortable in those rooms. And that level of comfortability is the problem. That we need to deliberately get uncomfortable every single day and do things that make us uncomfortable. Because how are you going to fuck with the man who deliberately chooses every day to do things that make him uncomfortable? You can't. Whatever life throws at him, he is going to crush, because he's bigger than that. Those things don't hold a candle to him, because he deliberately chooses to go face them on. When those challenges comes, he's like, fuck yes. Test day. Here we go. That's where you want to get to. And it's where I fell down. It's why I'm here. It's why I'm leading by example. It's why I'm documenting this journey. Because I got comfortable. I remember when I was 21, I owned my own personal training studio. And I went to these events with other gym owners and all this kind of stuff. And I was the youngest and the most accomplished in the room. And I loved that. I was like, yes, this is what it should be. That I was leading the way. That I was stepping up, and I was doing the things that others didn't do at a younger age, at a faster rate, all those kinds of things. And then, as I said, 2 points of it. One, I wasn't authentically aligned with who I was. I was just doing things to make money. And when money is the outcome, it's never going to work. You need to do things that align with you in here, and money will be the byproduct of that. 2, I got comfortable. Like, I was great. I was doing big things. And we're now 11 years on, and I'm still at that same level. I settled for it. And this is the big problem. I haven't pushed myself out of my comfort zone on a business level truly for, 8 years, something like that. 7 years, it doesn't matter. Even if it's only 1 year, that's just unacceptable. I've been sitting at this level and just ticking along. And that's what I tell people. People are like, how business? And I'm like, oh, it's ticking along. And I'm like, how fucking sad is that? As I said, I've made the decision to get out of that, to move on to the next thing. But that's where I've been. And we need to consistently get uncomfortable with ourselves. We need to level up. And a lot of people don't like that. because along the way, as you consistently level up, and you should be aiming to level up, even if it's just to keep the fulfillment, to keep challenging yourself. And it doesn't matter if that's business, if that's health, if that's fitness, if it's relationships, if it's your, personal hobbies. You should be aiming to level up to keep fulfilling yourself, because you need to challenge yourself. You need a purpose, you need a challenge, and you need to go to war. These are the things that you need in your life to keep pushing you forward, to reach fulfillment as a man. But it becomes this challenge of like, where's the next level? Where's that next thing? But along the way, you lose people. And I think this is where a lot of people struggle, because you're like, oh, my friends and family say that I changed and I'm not the person that they used to know. And it's a really hard pill to swallow, but good. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be the same person you were 10 years ago. If you are, that means what are you doing? You're stagnant. And there isn't actually stagnancy. You're either growing or you're dying. There's nothing in between. And so if you're the same person you were even 12 months ago, that's a problem. You need to be elevating and leveling up, and you will lose friends. You will lose family, and you need to accept that. And don't look at it as, oh, I've changed and I've lost them. Look at it and go, feel empathy for them. You lost them because they also didn't level up with you. If they're truly committed to you and connected with you, they will level up with you, and they will love the new version of you because they are also growing. You can either level up and take people with you, or you say goodbye to them, and that's their choice. You cannot force people to be in your life, and you also can't lower your standards to the people in your life, because you will always realign to the lowest common denominator. So if you're raising up here and you keep these people in your life and they're not growing and they're not developing, you bring yourself back down here. But you will feel that. It'll hurt in here. You'll feel it. You'll lose the fulfillment. You'll lose the growth of in here. You have to keep pushing forward. And this is the point. And it's okay. You will lose your circle. And you'll make a new one, because you'll meet new people who are similarly aligned with you. And then again, you play this game again. Are they going to elevate with you? Are they going to grow with you? Or will you fall apart as you level up and you meet the next level? You should always find new people to level up. You should never be the smartest in the room. You should never be the most accomplished in the room. You should not be the leader in the room. If you are the big fish in the little pond, it's time to move to a new pond. And these are the things that it is a hard thing. It is a hard thing to recognize. And often people who live life this way have a really small group. They have a really small inner circle. And as I said, I've been living comfortably for far too long, but I have a really small inner circle, like tiny. I have 3 friends, not including my wife. And that's it, because I've leveled up and I keep leveling up. And I've been playing tiny, and I have that small circle as I've leveled up in different areas. What's going to happen now that I change the game? I'm hoping that they're all going to come with me, but we'll see. We'll see. And it's a hard thing. I struggle with my family because of this, because we are not built the same. I had the comment the other day from a friend who knows me and my parents quite well, and she was like, to this day, the more I get to know about them and the more I see of your family, I have no idea where you came from. I don't know how you ended up here with the way you are and the drive you are. And that's not to be egotistical. That's what she flat out said. But it was a flattering thing that, we can choose our destiny. Where we come from and our environment and those people that we grow up with doesn't dictate who we will become. We do. We make choices. And then we elevate from that, and we make the choices, and we refine that, and we carve this character. Your character isn't set. It's all, growth mindset. You can change at any point. You can choose who you're going to be. You can completely change who you are on a dime like that. You can do a 180 and become a completely different person if you so desire to be. And this is where we need to get to. We need to push forward on these things. And as I said, though, you will lose people and they'll say that you changed because the person that you used to be gave them what they wanted. When people are unhappy that you're growing and changing, it's often because you fit their needs. And now you are looking after your needs. And they're not going to like that. And that's okay, because it's not about them. It's about you. And look, my wife included doesn't agree with this, but I firmly believe that no one is above being cut out of your life. No one. Family, friends, all of that. No one is above that when it comes to your happiness and your fulfillment. And if they're holding you back, if they're holding you down, who is that benefiting? Only them. You are playing small to subserve them. And as I said, if they truly love you and support you, they will watch your growth and they will cheer and they will support you. But generally, when you're on the way up, it's Alex Hormozi, it's that one person in the auditorium, and it's that slow clap, that slow, methodical clap. And you just have to keep clapping for yourself as you do the work. And eventually you'll reach a place where there are others around you who are the same as you. And they'll support you because they can see what you're doing and they've been where you are and they want to see you succeed. And when you reach people who are growth mindset and who are on the same trajectory as you, they will support you. It's only people who are beneath you that will ever bring you down. The people above you will pull you up because they want to see you succeed. People who are succeeding want to see others succeed. So next time you feel like people are hating on you and they're not supporting you and they're bringing you down, think about that. Think about where they stand and what they're doing, because I can guarantee you they are not above you. They are not doing better than you, because nobody shits on people below them. So that's all I have for you today. And I know that's a full-on one, and I know that's harsh, but it's time to kill the old you, to make that decision, to step into your new life. It just takes one moment, one true decision, that full commitment where you burn the boats and you step into your power and you go for it. Once you do that, everything will fall into place. Everything aligns perfectly, and you'll be shocked at how quickly things transition when you step into full alignment of who you are. When you've made that decision and you've committed to that decision, you've burnt the boats and it's happening. A whole new world is out there waiting for you. So I hope you can see that, and I can't wait to see where you end up and the man you become. Until then, talk soon.